So let's go ahead and shift our attention to Davos, where some major announcements were made. President Trump confirmed that he had reached a framework for America achieving everything that they wanted, but also that we would not use military force to achieve any further objectives. Take a look.
We never asked for anything, and we never got anything. We probably won't get anything unless I decide to use excessive strength and force, where we would be, frankly, unstoppable. But I won't do that. Okay? Now everyone's saying, oh, good. That's probably the biggest statement I made, because people thought I would use force. I don't have to use force. I don't want to use force. I won't use force.
President Trump was also interviewed by Fox on the specifics of the deal that he struck. Take a look.
We'll have everything we want. We're getting everything we want at no cost.
So the Golden Dome will be on Greenland?
A piece of it, yes, and it's a very important part because it's everything comes over Greenland. If the bad guys start shooting, it comes over Greenland. So we knock it down. It's pretty infallible. It's amazing. We're talking about it. It's really being negotiated now, the details of it, but essentially it's total access. It's there's no end. There's no time limit.
The New York Post cover had some fun with the big news, calling it Dane Deal.
Look, President Trump is indeed a deal maker. I think all of the global affairs analysts, political scientists, and anybody that knows anything about international relations knew that use of force in Greenland was a non-starter. That was never going to happen. But the issue is with President Trump, he's unpredictable, which, believe it or not, is one of his strengths. The fact that he's unpredictable makes people question their own decisions. And that's a good thing, because that's one of the reasons why he was able to achieve this deal over Greenland. Now, remember, I told you in the previous episode that it wasn't just about missile defense. It was also about rare earth. Now, here's a little bit more on what we were able to achieve with the rare earth in Greenland. Take a look.
Now, Greenland is the 8th place in the world when it comes to the reserves of the rare earth minerals needed to create and operate technology for pretty much everything. Most of those reserves are still untapped in Greenland. The Arctic nation is home to key minerals needed for consumer electronics, defense systems, medical devices, advanced computing, and clean energy. This is a critical part of that deal. Tommy, talk more.
Well, ultimately, this is about access. This is about access for the United States. It's about access from a military perspective. It's about access from a perspective from those critical minerals. These are part of all the concerns that President Trump laid out really from the beginning of this administration, talking about those critical minerals, talking about the encroachment of our adversaries onto Greenland, talking about the defense of Greenland, the NATO alliance, our defense, modern threats, the Arctic, the list goes on.
Once we get access to these minerals in Greenland, we are going to unshackle ourselves from China. And that's been the president's pursuit the whole time. The president also conducted official signings for the Board of Peace, which I think is very important for everybody to understand, because it seeks to end global conflict with its primary focus right now being in Gaza. Take a look.
The official formation of what is known as the Board of Peace. This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. Every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it.
President Trump presiding over the signing ceremony for the brand new Board of Peace in Davos. That was earlier this morning. His goal for the board is to promote peace around the globe. 25 countries make up the initial membership, but the president says all are welcome to join.
Now, here's a little bit more on the Board of Peace from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who continues to solidify his position as one of the greatest Secretary of States in this country's history. Take a look.
Into many of these forums, and they're not useless, and they're not, they have utility in many cases. But oftentimes in international affairs, we often find ourselves at events where people are reading these scripted statements, these strongly worded letters that they put out, but no action, nothing happens. This is a group of leaders that are about action. And the President of the United States is a president of action, of getting things done. And today is the beginning of that, of a new era and a new stage that we think is so important as a model to the rest of the world of what is possible. And clearly the focus is right now on Gaza and making sure that the plan that's about to be presented to you here today, this vision for the future of Gaza, this vision for the future of the region, is not just possible and promising. It is our destiny if we put the time and the effort that it requires, as I know this board will do. But I also think it will serve as an example of what's possible in other parts of the world. Without losing focus on what's before us now, This is what's possible for other places and other conflicts that seem impossible to solve right now.
But there were also some fireworks in Davos when Scott Bessent came up to talk and he was asked about Governor Newsome. This is what he had to say about him.
Governor calls you smug. Are you smug?
Yeah, you know, I think it's very, very ironic that, you know, Governor Newsome, who strikes me as Patrick Bateman meets Sparkle Beach Ken, may be the only Californian who knows less about economics than Kamala Harris. He's here this week with his billionaire sugar daddy, Alex Soros, and Davos is a perfect place for a man who, when everyone else was on lockdown, when he was having people arrested for going to church, he was having $1,000 a night meals at the French Laundry, and I'm sure the California people won't forget that.
I think Scott Bessent is absolutely right. The recovery for California after the Palisades fire has been disastrous. Governor Newsom hasn't done anything to speed up the process. And in turn, that's leaving a lot of the citizens of California homeless. And that's simply because they have to continue to fight the state's red tape just to rebuild their own homes. And this is all happening while Gavin Newsom continues to focus on establishing a baseline for his presidential campaign. This is ridiculous. He needs to focus on Californians who are currently struggling right now with some of the highest cost of living in the country. And I think his inability to act in favor of Californians is going to come back to bite him in the butt. More people are leaving California than coming in. As a matter of fact, today, California continues to have the largest outmigration in the country. So I know you're probably asking yourself, well, where are these people going? Where is everybody going that's leaving California? Well, I'll give you the top 4. Texas, Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. So what does that tell you? They go to places where there is law and order. Hence the reason why I live in beautiful, sunny Florida. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, stay balanced.